Come on. Cuz, just keep breathing, bit, boy.
Come on.
Just keep breathing, cuz.
Hold on, you can't move on that
You
fast,
got it,
bro.
my fault.
Yeah.
Man, I need shot. What you mean wrong side?
Everybody else, like, when a real gangster, you know what I mean? When a real gangster get took out by like a nerd type.
I see a group of people coming. In my mind, I'm just thinking regular in reality, like you would think. I'm about to let these people walk past me. I'm not about to try to go through these people or nothing like that.
Come to the South, do some dumb shit, get smoked, the next thing you know, everybody looking around. They got all the guns in the South, bro. They do. They laws is different. They do. Shit, Texas got defensive property. You break in my car, I get to shoot you. That don't exist nowhere else.
Lil Tim was already one of the most hated names in Chicago before the rumor hit that he got caught slipping in Texas last night. And the wild part is, people in the streets been waiting on something like this ever since he took KINGVON's life back in 2020 and followed it up by trolling and laughing online. Today, we're breaking down what really happened and how this beef grew into one of the most heated rivalries in rap. Lil Tim, real name Timothy Leaks, is a Savannah, Georgia native who ended up becoming the #1 enemy to almost everybody connected to KINGVON and OBLOCK. Tim never set out to be in the middle of a national rap war, but once you run with Quando Rondo, you accept whatever comes with that. Growing up in Savannah, Tim was surrounded by the kind of environment that forces you to choose early, stand on business, or get stepped on. Those streets aren't light, and Tim earned his name as someone who wouldn't fold, wouldn't panic, and definitely wouldn't back away from a problem. He was the type of dude who would take risks for the people he stood with, the kind who'd rather go out fighting than back down. When he linked up with Quando's team, he stepped into the role of protection, the muscle, the one always armed, always alert, always ready for whatever came around the corner. And Quando needed that because he already had issues brewing with different gangs and crews, especially once NBA YoungBoy's drama and affiliations brought extra pressure. But everything changed on November 6th, 2020, outside the Monaco Hookah Lounge in Atlanta. A normal night turned into a moment that would flip Tim's life upside down and paint a permanent target on him from one of the most dangerous neighborhoods in America. And the crazy part? Tim probably didn't even know KINGVON like that. Not personally, not deeply. All he saw was his close friend getting pressed, surrounded, and attacked. And in that split second, he reacted like someone raised to defend his own. He fired to protect his homie. But in doing that, he unknowingly lit the fuse on a war with OBLOCK, one of Chicago's most feared and respected crews. This beef goes way beyond a single night in Atlanta. It traces back to the tension between Von and Quando, which had been building for months before the fight ever happened. Von had been sending shots and calling out Quando in music and online, and every time they came near each other, that pressure got heavier. KINGVON wasn't just another rapper trying to break through. He was OBLOCK royalty, raised under Chief Keef's blueprint, backed by Lil Durk, respected on the streets, and bringing in real money through music. He had the rare mix of deep street credibility and serious talent, the type that makes a crew believe their guy is next up and unstoppable. So when Tim pulled that trigger and Von died right there on the pavement, it wasn't seen as just another loss in a violent city. To OBLOCK, it felt like their golden boy, their future, their walking paycheck had been taken away in one split-second decision, and they weren't ever gonna let that slide.
Yeah, Rick and Sean, according to GBI, rapper KINGVON and his group were at Opium nightclub before making their way here to Monaco Hookah Lounge, then to the parking lot where chaos ensued.
To OBLOCK, KINGVON wasn't just a rapper, he was their leader, their moneymaker, and their most respected shooter all wrapped into one. His death hit every single person connected to that block because Von represented everything they believed in. And from that moment on, OBLOCK made it clear they wanted revenge, and they weren't going to let the situation fade away. Ever since that night, the entire crew has been focused on catching Tim off guard. They've said it publicly, shown it online, and proved it with their actions. This wasn't street politics anymore. It turned into a personal mission. And the crazy part? OBLOCK didn't just talk about payback, they actually moved on it. In 2022, 3 members, Muwop, Mamo, and 2 others, were arrested in Atlanta after allegedly stealing a car and hunting for Lil Tim. These dudes were so committed to getting their payback that they were ready to risk their freedom just to find him. That arrest showed how deep the anger ran. It wasn't just comments on the internet or threats on IG Live. They were literally putting their lives on the line to honor Von's memory. The fact that they got caught shows how difficult it is to track Tim down, but it also proves they're not giving up, no matter how long it takes. And here's where things escalated even more, and why OBLOCK's frustration keeps growing. While most people would disappear and lay low after being involved in a situation like that, Lil Tim went in the complete opposite direction. Instead of going silent, he trolled. He dropped songs, throwing shots, mocked Von's death, and laughed online every time someone tried and failed to catch him. Track after track, he bragged about that night in Atlanta, calling himself the one who smoked Von, and posting captions that he knew would get under Chicago's skin. He wasn't just defending himself, he was celebrating it. Tim acted like King Von's death was some kind of achievement. He even performed at parties, showed off in club appearances, and told the world he wasn't scared of retaliation. That kind of energy doesn't just make people angry, it starts wars. The most disrespectful thing for OBLOCK was how Tim turned Von's death into content. Every new song, every subtle bar, every social media post felt like he was poking the bear on purpose, daring OBLOCK to try again. To fans, it looked like trolling. To the streets, it looked like a challenge. And to OBLOCK, it felt like Tim was turning their fallen leader into a punchline. That's why they're still hunting him. That's why this beef refuses to die. And that's why they've risked freedom, reputation, and their own lives just to get one chance at payback. From a survival point of view, the way Tim has handled everything almost looks like strategy. By staying loud online, dropping music, and showing his face instead of disappearing, he's actually making it harder for OBLOCK to sneak up on him. Being visible means everyone is watching, and that pressure keeps his enemies from moving quietly. But at the same time, every post, every song, and every troll adds gasoline to a fire that was already burning out of control. You can see just how deep this war runs by watching the reactions. Fans of KINGVON across the country have spent years waiting for that moment where Tim finally gets what's coming. Every time he releases another diss or throws a joke toward OBLOCK, the comments flood with people saying his time is almost up. And it's not just fans choosing sides. Rappers in the industry have jumped in too. Lil Durk, who was like family to Von, has taken subliminal shots at Tim and Quando more than once. Songs like Pissed Me Off and Backdoor had lines everyone understood were aimed straight at them, even though Durk never said their names out loud. In Chicago, Tim's name became untouchable for all the wrong reasons. Artists who usually stay neutral started making it clear they stood with Von's memory, because Von wasn't just respected on one block, he was loved throughout the city. Meanwhile, Tim hasn't been completely isolated. Back home in Georgia, he still has support, and fans of NBA YoungBoy, who view this as part of a bigger war between YB's circle and Chicago, back him too. But even with that backing, none of it takes away the level of danger coming from OBLOCK. And social media has made everything worse. Every comment, every lyric, every post becomes a clue. Fans act like detectives, trying to predict the next move. The whole hip-hop world has been watching this beef like a live drama, waiting to see who strikes next and how it ends. Then last night, everything exploded online. Rumors started flying that OBLOCK finally caught Lil Tim slipping. A single tweet claimed he was shot multiple times in Texas, and the story spread faster than anyone could check it. To the streets, it felt believable. Tim travels around. Texas is known for heavy street activity. OBLOCK has been hunting him for years. Within minutes, people were retweeting without stopping to question any of it. KINGVON fans went into full celebration mode, acting like justice had finally been delivered. Posts were flying saying Von got his get back from the grave. People joked that Tim got walked down while KINGVON's music was playing, like the universe lined it up for poetic revenge. The details got crazier by the minute. Some said it happened outside a club. Others claimed it was a gas station shootout. Everyone was adding pieces to the story, even though nobody really knew anything. The streets truly believed OBLOCK had finally pulled it off. People were convinced their mission was complete and Tim was either gone for good or laid up in a Texas hospital fighting for his life. Von supporters were celebrating like they won a championship. Folks started posting pictures of KINGVON with captions like "Long live Von, justice served." Some even dropped laughing emojis, showing just how badly they wanted Tim to feel the same pain they felt back in 2020. But that's the thing about the internet. You can't trust everything you see, especially when it comes to street beef. Social media eats up rumors faster than facts. A story that sounds dramatic or poetic spreads 10 times faster than something verified. And 9 times out of 10, if a story feels too perfect, too clean, or too satisfying, that's because it usually ain't real. Nobody stopped to notice that no real news outlet had confirmed anything. That should have been the first red flag. But people ignored it because the story matched what they wanted to be true. Then, just when everybody was convinced Lil Tim was finished, he jumped on Twitter and posted one simple emoji: a hat. Anyone who knows street internet language knows exactly what that means. Cap. In one move, he told the world the whole thing was false, and he was alive, breathing, and watching everyone celebrate a lie. That single emoji killed thousands of people's hopes in seconds. Von fans who thought they finally got closure suddenly realized they got fooled. Some were angry at Tim. Others were angry at themselves for believing a random tweet from a random page. Later, it came out the entire story started from a fake account, pretending to be credible. The profile picture looked official, the bio looked legit, and that was enough for the internet to take it and run. It spread like wildfire because people wanted it to be true, not because it was. This whole situation shows how dangerous social media is in the middle of a real street war. False information spreads faster than truth. People can react, plan, move, and act based on nothing but rumors. If OBLOCK members saw that tweet and believed Tim was already handled, they could have relaxed their guard. Or even worse, if they thought he survived and wanted to chase him down to finish the job, they could have ended up in a deadly situation based on a lie. Tim's hat emoji wasn't just a denial, it was a troll. It was his way of letting everybody know he's still out here, still breathing, still unbothered, and still playing the game on his terms. He even let the rumors circulate long enough to build hype before shutting it down, another psychological move. And the reaction that followed showed how emotionally invested people are. When fans realized it was fake, the disappointment was loud. Some people were embarrassed, they believed it without double checking. Others were frustrated because they've spent years waiting for the story to end differently. There's a bigger mental game happening too. By staying visible, dropping songs, doing interviews, hopping online, Tim keeps himself in people's faces. It forces OBLOCK to think about him non-stop while Von is gone. Every track, every live session, every post reminds his enemies he's still moving freely. That kind of reminder can push people to take desperate measures. But Tim's strategy cuts both ways. Playing loud in public keeps him protected sometimes, but it also keeps him targeted. Most people in his position would disappear, move states, or stay hidden. Tim is doing the opposite, making himself even easier to find. The fake shooting rumor proved how hungry people are for a conclusion. The moment somebody floated the idea that Tim might be gone, thousands celebrated like it was confirmed fact. That shows this isn't entertainment to the fans. They've emotionally tied themselves to the outcome. OBLOCK likely saw the rumor too, and it probably reminded them that the world expects them to retaliate, not forget. The pressure isn't just from Chicago anymore, it's coming from everywhere. Fans, blogs, rappers, the streets, all waiting for the next headline. And the real truth is, this war between Lil Tim and OBLOCK isn't stopping anytime soon. Tim is still moving carefully, traveling state to state, keeping protection around him, switching locations. But OBLOCK's energy hasn't faded since 2020. They want revenge, and they've proven they're willing to risk years in prison to chase it. What makes everything riskier is how public the beef has become. Most street conflicts stay underground. This one has turned into a storyline with millions of followers. Every diss Tim drops, every Instagram caption, every interview moment adds more fuel. Meanwhile, OBLOCK keeps waiting for the perfect chance to strike. Tim might feel untouchable because he's dodged every attempt so far, but the streets never forget. OBLOCK isn't the type to move on. Their pride and their pain runs deep. Someone they loved and respected is gone, and they don't feel like justice has been served. The fact that members were willing to get arrested in 2022 trying to track Tim down shows this isn't bluff or rap talk. This is real life, and they're dead serious. At the end of the day, this entire situation is the blueprint for how one moment can spiral out of control. A fight outside a hookah lounge turned into a multi-year war being watched by the entire hip-hop world. Lil Tim may have survived last night's false alarm, but the real danger hasn't disappeared. The way people reacted to a rumor proves the streets are tense, fans are on edge, and both sides are still ready for the moment when myth turns into reality. KINGVON's death left a hole inside OBLOCK, a space they've been trying to fill with revenge ever since. And every time Tim pops online, drops a diss, or throws a joke, it's like he's jabbing that wound all over again. Whether Tim truly believes he's untouchable, or he's just pretending to be fearless, one fact remains. Wars like this rarely slow down on their own, and they almost never end peacefully. OBLOCK has too much pride, too much loyalty, and too much love for KINGVON to walk away from what happened in Atlanta. And on the other side, Tim has too much pride and too much ego to disappear quietly, stop trolling, or act like nothing happened. The streets have been glued to this story for years, and everyone watching understands the same thing. This beef is far from finished. Tim can throw out hat emojis all he wants and laugh at the internet losing its mind, but it doesn't erase the target he's carrying every time he steps outside. OBLOCK isn't the kind of crew that forgets a fallen member, and Von wasn't just any member. He was the centerpiece of their identity. So even though the rumor last night turned out to be false, the danger around Tim is still very real. He might be smiling right now, joking online and trolling his enemies like he always does. But out here, the last laugh usually goes to the person who's still alive when everything finally settles. And at this moment, both sides are still holding grudges, still building energy, and still waiting on their moment. The streets have been anticipating a breaking point since 2020. Last night was fabricated, but what came with it shows how ready people are for something real. Because when that day finally comes, whatever it looks like, wherever it happens, everyone from Chicago to Savannah to Instagram timelines worldwide will be watching. Until then, Lil Tim better stay alert, stay moving, and stay aware. Because OBLOCK isn't done hunting, and they're not stopping because of a hoax, a rumor, or a single emoji. This chapter doesn't close with fake news. It only closes when the streets decide the story is finished for real.